Are you ready for a retro arcade throwback meant to bring back memories of Metal Gear Solid and the Super Nintendo era, but with high-octane action that will melt your face off, all while playing as cute pixelated girls that love to shoot guns? Today's game is what you get with Metal Gear Solid Amazon-style pile drives Dominion Tank Police on top of a Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4. Are you ready for a game named after a gun that only Kentucky Ballistics fires? Jeez! Today, we are playing Nitro Express. One of the best things about Nitro Express is its presentation. This game is meant to look like a lolly Metal Slug arcade game. Whoa. Calm down, Digibro. They're only lolly in art style, not age. But because of the art style and characterization, the game does feel like a mini Dominion Tank Police. I mean, you are police. But instead of fighting super AI tanks with tanks, you're fighting robots with AK-47s. And it really wants you to feel like you're a police officer in a dystopian robot future. See, even when you fail missions, you go to the hospital for it. Cast and everything. You even have to fill out reports after successful and unsuccessful missions, with our character doing a little doodling on the side. At first it reminded me of old school anime like Burn Up Excess, but of course it was lacking a lot of the fan service, which is surprising for a game that's inspired by Metal Gear Solid. I mean, look, they put the box stealth mechanic in here. You have codec radio conversations in this game too. And who would be surprised that Metal Gear Solid references are in this game when the company's name is Greyfax Software? So of course, there's Metal Gear references. These are old school gamers making a game for today's audience. But nowhere is it more evident than in the story. You play as Ashina. You are a member of a freshly made unit specifically made to destroy evil companions, robots. It's Mega Man, okay? The robots are rebelling and it is your job to put this rebellion down with your robot friend. I mean, it's piloted by another girl, your partner, who's a lot slower and less violent than you are. But it is your partner. Honestly, you're just an 80s anime action hero. Your name barely matters. You're here to blow shit up, kick ass, and chew bubblegum, and you're all out of bubblegum. If this was a live action movie from the 80s, you would just call them Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone and move on because the characters don't matter. You're just here to stop a robot insurrection. And that's it. Yeah, of course there's a story, but do you really want me to spoil it for you? That ruins all the fun. And that's what this game was meant to be. Fun. Nitro Express is a side-scroller shoot-'em-up with a fixation on guns, explosions, and how to tactically utilize them in a high-octane, fast-paced, violent video game that is surprisingly slower than you would think because of reload animations and awkward controls, with reloading being one of the biggest issues in the game for me, because in some cases it adds another level of gameplay, forcing players to be way more tactical with their loadouts. Maybe you want to have an AI turret protecting you while you reload your LMG, or just want to go full damage and carry a rocket launcher with you while you rush somebody with a shotgun. There's pluses and minuses to this. Maybe you want to have an assault rifle because it's easy to reload and keep firing into the onslaught of robot enemies. But then, what do you do against bigger, heavier enemies? Do you take a sniper rifle? Or maybe you'll get up close and personal with your double barrel. The big equalizer being the reload animations for most of the powerful guns. This slows you down drastically. And you do have to reload these guns. There's no switching off and pulling some Call of Duty shenanigans. So sometimes when you end a big gunfight, you're just gonna have to sit there and reload all of your weapons, slowing the game down drastically. It's what stops the game from actually feeling like an 80s action anime, like a Gunsmith Cats. Okay, that's a 90s anime, but it was meant to replicate the awesome over-the-top action of the 80s movie scene. I mean, just look at Riley Vincent's car. Come on, bro. And honestly, the other bad thing is Nitro Express's controls. For the most part, they do the job, but there's always a bit of awkwardness, specifically with the ducking controls. On PC, mouse, and keyboard, you have to duck and hit it the other direction to roll, which makes things a slight bit awkward when you have to, on a split second, dodge a projectile coming your way. On controller though, it's its own button. When you have to hit the left trigger to do everything, including jumping down platforms, the awkwardness is out of control. This is shit that was fixed 35 fucking years ago. You hit down and you hit jump. That's how you go down a platform. Not this BS. And of course, it's a game made now, so there's a dodge roll like a Dark Souls rolling mechanic. But the iframes are a bit I think it was designed this way to make it a lot more challenging, but it feels like it should be a little bit longer to dodge through things more reliably. And the other problem I have is the aiming. On controller specifically, it feels just a touch off. So when you're shooting at enemies, sometimes it feels like you should be hitting them in the head, but you're shooting right above their head. That's it. Then they put flying enemies in, and because you're so far on one side of the screen, when they fly over your head, it has to transition from left to right, screwing up your aim. Which wouldn't be a problem if they just didn't make enemies that flew directly over your head, dropping bombs on you. Now, while I've been complaining about this for what feels like an hour, it's not as big of a deal as that sounds. It's just something that stops this game that should be a classic from being a classic. The game isn't that difficult, and the action is so tight and explosive and fun that these issues are only issues when you're critiquing the game or playing on harder difficulties. Now, this isn't a problem that I really cared about, but I've heard a lot of people complaining about it on the forums, with the game being stuck at a hard 30 frames a second and not allowing you to play it at 60 frames a second, which can be a problem, but I didn't encounter any problems with that personally. Now, should you buy this game? Depends on how much you like the art style and retro fun, or how much you like retro games entirely. I had a lot of fun playing this game, so if you do purchase it, and it's pretty cheap, you're going to get 4 to 8 hours of fun out of it. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. I plan on doing a lot more content like this on this channel. So see you next time.